Welcome back to the Cast and Call cEDH podcast. I'm Blake.
I'm Chase, and today we're talking about some controversial shit. As per usual.
Let's just fucking start problems with everybody.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what we are doing today, is starting issues. But if you're listening today, there's an announcement. Like, today is the day they're actually releasing the whole like banned and restricted announcement. That's not what today is about. I mean, that's probably going to end up being controversial. We are in the past at this point. We don't know what's going to happen. And we might end up releasing an episode like kind of in the middle of the week on some of our thoughts, if we could get together and if it's enough to actually fucking talk about.
I'm going to die whenever they're like, no changes. And then I'm going to watch this clip back where I say no changes. And instead they're going to be like, banned Ristic Study, banned Necropotence, banned Timna, banned Rograk, unbanned, like
ban the format.
All the rest.
It's in shambles. cEDH isn't a real format. What are you fucking talking about?
The things that got unbanned: Leovold, Tolarian Academy, Unwind, Paradox, everything.
Yeah. If you really want to know our thoughts on what should be unbanned, like, go back to our episode from like a year ago.
Don't do that. That was a meme-ass video.
Maybe a little bit, but you can see how far we've come for you all. What?
My takes in that were so shit. It was so bad.
Are they better now?
Probably not. Probably not. I was in that. I'm trying to think of what I even said to unban in that. It was like Hull Breacher.
You said Hull Breacher, Tolarian Academy.
Yeah.
Like, you said some...
Crypt, Jayla. What was the other thing I said to unban? There was one other thing that was like fucked.
Fuck. I don't remember exactly. We'd have to go back and watch that episode to figure it out.
Yeah. But yeah, people were like, these are fucking terrible takes.
Yeah.
I think one of mine was actually a reasonable take. I don't remember which one it was, but one of them was pretty reasonable. And then the rest were just fucked.
Like J-Lo was probably the only one that was reasonable.
Yeah.
So hopefully at least that becomes unbanned. But again, we are not talking about that today because we are currently stuck in the past and we have not heard the announcement for what it is. But
please don't ban Ristic Study. Okay, that's all I have.
But, it was kind of funny because to be transparent, we record most of these episodes like a week or so at least before like shit happens. And in last week's episode, we were like, oh, nothing's really happened. Nothing's really happened this week. And then like that was before the Rumble. We recorded we recorded last week's episode, I think, before the Rumble.
No.
Even. Yes, because everything hadn't happened yet.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
The Rumble had happened.
No.
The Rumble didn't happen this Saturday.
Right.
Last Saturday.
Right.
We recorded Monday.
Are you sure?
Yes, because we were talking about how Timna Halana won.
Oh,
I mentioned it in the thing. I actually mentioned it in the episode because I said Timna Halana, and then we started talking about that shit. We just didn't know about that thing.
I don't remember because I remember in that episode I'm making a comment. I was like, not much has really like happened. And then apparently everything happened. And we just didn't think about it. We just like, it is what it is.
All I'm saying, okay, I want y'all to appreciate, so this is totally off topic, but I just want y'all to appreciate this shit. Me and Chase never know what the fuck to record on. We have made idea, like we asked ChatGPT, we'll be like, what should we record on? And it gives us the dumbest shit. It's like, talk about why Timna and Crom is the best, just fuck that. Terrible. But like, I'm not going to lie, Critical's pretty smart with the way that they do their shit because they're just like, whatever's happening in the format, that's what we're going to talk about. And then they got that shit on lock. And then me and Chase sat down for an hour longer than we actually record for. And we go,
that's not true.
What do you want?
That's not true at all.
What do you want to record on? And he goes, I don't know. And then we sat here and he scours the internet. And I sat over here doing nothing.
That truth. That is exactly what happens.
I literally sat over here and I read comments from YouTube videos and I go, oh, that's really funny what so-and-so said. Oh, fuck that guy. Oh, that's so cool. And then Chase is just like, did you see this Reddit post? And I'm like, nope.
There's a reason why I think at this point we're like the second best married couple in cEDH.
We're the best. Sorry,
We're
Jordan. Sorry, Lily. We're the best.
We're the best.
The best.
All right. Well, yeah, he got one over on me. So we did kind of talk about some of the events and like things that had happened, but we were both just kind of like, I don't really know what else is going on. But that weekend, there was quite a few things that has kind of come out this past week. That is mostly the topic for tonight. But before we get into that, you know, Blake, take it away.
Well, I was gonna say before we do that, if you want to build any of those wonderful decks that did good in the Rumble, or any of the wonderful decks that did good in Breach the Bay, go to Man of All Proxies and buy some nice looking proxies. Matter of fact, I wish I should fucking actually like have some of these fucking. Give me one thing. You can keep talking. Talk about the subscriber shit. I'm gonna get one of these fucking proxies out.
While he's doing that, if you enjoy the chaos that we bring to the cEDH space, and you enjoy listening to us kind of rant and ramble about bullshit every week and do the gameplays, go on ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, because there's still like a fuck ton of people that listen to us on a regular basis that have not done that yet. And plus, we're really, really close to 2K. And as he's getting these things out, I think that we've even talked about doing some of these Manifold proxy decks as like a giveaway. And so maybe once we finally hit 2K subscribers, maybe we can give away like maybe one or two of these decks away to people, and once try to continue building that up. But the only way we could do that, if you want a chance at that, is to subscribe if you haven't already. Aside from that, always like the videos, share the videos if you feel free or feel the need to. Join our Discord down below. The link is down there in the description. It's free. You might as well. You get to talk with us and a bunch of other really cool people. If you're in the state of Kentucky, join the Kentucky cEDH Discord. We finally got like over 100 people, and we got actual like proxy friendly events going on in the state. Crazy. And now we're gonna have to actually like dedicate our time to go to these events, because we've made such a big push these past couple months in trying to get proxies in the state. Also, join us on Patreon. Right now we have people that have joined our Patreon, and we're working towards getting games in with them. Blake has been working hard at getting these episodes out a day early. So if you would like to watch our episodes a day early without the ads, join our Patreon there.
Yeah, what he said. Also, he's right. I try my best to get these out a day early. And so like if you want to just see the stuff before everybody else does. And then we're also going to start posting like some of the other gameplays and stuff that we do outside of just the recorded stuff probably on there. I've got some games that I actually want to throw on there. But I played some games with like Matt Hayes and some other people. And so I want to just throw those up there. And so it'll just be like fun extra stuff. And again, it just goes to help supporting the channel so that we don't fucking kill each other. But
soon. Fucking murder him soon.
But these are the wonderful proxies. I don't know if you can see, like that's also like a nice little double face card. But these beautiful looking proxies, and then here's obviously the front side, so you're not just staring at the logo.
Hey, that's the deck I have to play.
It is
very nice.
Yeah, but this, which I'm glad that I fucking did. I would not have gave him this before he left, but I would have totally forgot.
He would have forgot about it.
Fuck yeah, I would have. But yeah, these proxies are nice as shit. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Like they feel so good. They sleeve up so nice. They shuffle nice. Everything about them is just nice. So go to Man of All Proxies and get you a nice deck. Treat yourself. You deserve it. You got them fucking tax returns coming in. Use that shit. And while you're there, use code CCC. And I keep fucking forgetting which way is the right way. But it's something like this. And that's probably...
You fucked it up. You fucked it up.
Is this the right way? Are you sure?
Yes, that is the right way, because we're not on Discord, so it's not going to flip the fucking image.
This is fucking ass, bro. Like,
oh my God.
Whatever. Whichever one of these is a C, put 3 of them in your fucking box when it says coupon. And get you a discount and give us money. No, I'm just kidding. You too can buy this fucking Rowan deck before you win it on the channel.
Just don't be like me when you do it. Like, check your box filled, because A little bit of story time. I ordered the bundle the like a few weeks ago, and I was going through. I was like, I want to get a couple decks for myself because our friend Sean, one of our locals that has helped us fix our fucking mic issue, and like all these other things. Like he came over one night, super nice of him to. He was going to come in and play games, and like literally him and Blake spent hours trying to fix my mic issue, and we finally did it. And I was like, you put in so much time and effort at this, I'm gonna get you a fucking deck. So he wanted the Jund Dargo list, and I was like, what do I get? I'm ordered Tivit, and I got Kefka. I was like, I have access to some of these things, but I just want the whole fucking deck. My order came in. The Jund Dargo list was fine. The Tivit list was fine. The Kefka list is looking a little light. I was like, what happened here? My dumbass forgot to put the lands in the box field. So I'm going to have to go on and order like the Grixis lands because I'm just fucking stupid and forgot it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So make sure you check your Moxfield link because they will put whatever it is that's on there. If you forget shit, that's on you at that point, like it was me.
Yeah, they will. I mean, I don't want to. They'll get it right. I'm almost certain because I ordered like 950 fucking cards from them. I mean, it's not an exaggeration. It was 950 cards, and I went through because I'm fucking a little bit tism, but I had to get that shit perfect. So I went through, and exactly as my list looked on Moxfield, I took all these fucking cards and I organized them by alphabetical order like they were on Moxfield by typing and everything. And I looked and I got every card, all 950 of them. They're beautiful. I sleeved them bitches up, which also took a long time, but I sleeved them up. And so now I can pull them bitches out whenever I want. I can play any day. And so now I did that.
He could play any deck, but he might not be playing any deck.
Yeah, but I did that shit. And then Lorwyn happened.
And now you're going to have to go through.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Now I got to get more cards. This is ass. But when I go and get them, I'm going to go to Mana Wild Proxies. So.
And use code what?
It's 3 C's.
CCC.
I hope that's correct. I sure as hell hope so.
Oh my God.
There's some dyslexic person that loves me on this channel. They're like, I can read it. I can read it.
Well, I'm glad that someone loves us because we've kind of gotten quite a few bits of hate these past few weeks as well for some of the things we've put out, but fuck it, right? And so we're going to kind of continue that direction tonight, I feel like, because there was some stuff that did happen at the Rumble, and with the people that were involved, I hope that maybe some things have kind of been settled. I know there's been some apologies made, but it's brought up a lot of kind of controversy and backlash within the community recently.
I just want to preface this. Obviously, I love everybody involved that
absolutely.
that was in this bullshit. Like, I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, like, we're less going to be talking about like the actual incident and more just like the difference between. Well, I'll let Chase explain, but. Well, he'll explain the topic. He's good at that.
Sometimes I'm good at it. So for the most part, we are talking about the lying in cEDH. And, we have in the past, like we did an episode like several months ago with Kellen where we talked about like the actual cheating that took place after the cookout. And we kind of wrapped up some of our thoughts about lying within that. But now here we go again. We kind of have that at the forefront of everyone's mind and like a lot of very conflicting opinions on it. Some people kind of view this as like, oh, there's not a place for this in the format, and then like others are like, oh, it's reasons like this and politicking why cEDH can't be taken seriously as a real format. Then you have others like on the total like opposite end of the spectrum, or they're just like, oh, fuck it, he won. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the goal is to win. Like, people don't have your best interest when you're sitting down and playing in a pod. Like, yeah, everyone's like not trying to lose, but at the end of the day, like, the winner's the winner. And like, that's what matters. And so like, I think that tonight we're just kind of going through and providing kind of our perspectives on things. And again, I think when we do this, like, we're not necessarily talking about the individual or individuals that were involved with this, because everyone knows by now, like, we're like a week late to talking about these things. And, you know, I think just as much as we've expressed in comments here recently on some of our other videos, like, this person in particular, like, they've not done anything to wrong us per se. Like, they've always been very encouraging and thoughtful and, like, provided good insight and thoughts whenever they've commented on things or we've communicated with them and things like that. So we always do appreciate that. But this is kind of a sticky situation.
Yeah. I mean, I any time something controversial happens in the format, I always take the approach of, like, it's not my fucking job to deal out punishment or justice or whatever the fuck. I am a participant in this format. I am not the decision maker, the decider of all. You know what I mean? Some of these fucking people got pissy whenever we had, like, the Max episode that we did because they were like, fuck you for... It's not my job to deal out, like, punishment or to be like, fuck you, get out of the format. Like, at the end of the day, if somebody is nice to me, I'm going to be nice back. Yeah. It goes for anybody. If you're going to be an asshole, I'm going to be an ass. But, like, it just is what it is.
Well, and I could say, even from my own personal experiences, like, I've done enough stuff in this format and outside of this format, this is old Chase, where I either A, should have had my ass fucking beat, or B, gone to jail, right? And the only reason those things didn't happen is because, like, one, just the grace of God, but, like, secondly, like, people having, like, an open enough heart to, like, sit down and have conversations with me and be able to, like, work with me through those struggles and those times of things that happen. And, like, for me personally, I can't hold anything else, like, above someone's head, just like how you're saying. Like, I'm not in a position to judge anyone whenever I've done some pretty fucked up shit myself too. Like, and we all have. Like, if you're like, actually, I haven't done anything wrong in my fucking life, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, like,
you're either a hermit or you're not.
You're not a real person.
Yeah, you're not real. You're fucking AI. But no, but yes. Okay, so essentially, too, like, because we've been talking about it, but essentially, what happened again? I don't give a fuck about the actual, like, incident. I'm just, like, kind of framing it so people know. But it sparked a whole discussion. And also, Jason has apologized. So, like, you can also see the apology. Like, I don't think...
you can see the apology. He talks for himself. Like, he's still a good player in this space. Like, don't go on a fucking witch hunt.
No, good person, good human being, good player, lot to learn from him. Again, we all fuck up. So, again, that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is because it sparked a discussion on... People are essentially saying lying versus, like, deceit in the format. Yeah. And I think that it was interesting because I was talking to Jake, so Jake Ballingy, our good buddy Zarek, and also, speaking of Zarek, he's about to be hosting the Tabernacle event coming up pretty soon. So
we're going to be at it.
Fucking register for that. It's almost at capacity, which is 256 players, which is fucking bananas. So do that shit. And also... what was it, Eric? I messaged them, and Eric said, I'm a sucker for a good deli lunch. So for a couple dollars more, you get a deli lunch. So fucking register for that shit. And then we'll probably be going to Applebee's, I've been told, afterwards. But yeah.
So if you want to see us, go to Applebee's after the fucking event. They'll never know which one.
Fuck yeah, dude. There's probably one in that whole
There's
town.
probably one.
One in that whole town. There's nobody going to show up. We're not going to have a stalker.
Dude, we're going to be there.
That
Everyone's
would be
going to show up to fucking Applebee's.
This is totally off topic. You ever watch any stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
Pete Davidson has a stand-up skit where he's talking about he has a stalker and how he lost his stalker because he, like, you know, put out, like, it was this whole fucking ordeal. But he was like, I was kind of sad. Like, at first, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? This is weird. But then he was like, I kind of miss her. So, so I'm going to be real sad. We're going to be at Applebee's. I'm going to be, like, looking to see if anybody's looking for us. And when there's not, I'm going to be like, oh. But anyways. No, like it sparked this whole discussion. And
Actually,
it was
no,
funny.
what's it going to end up having? We're going to be at Applebee's, and someone's going to come up and be like, well, actually, your morals are wrong.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, whatever, dude. Like, go enjoy your chicken fingers and
Hell yeah.
kid's plate.
Apple. No, I can't say this out loud. Never mind. But I was gonna say something. No. But I may throw somebody in Applebee's. But it sparked the discussion on like the lying versus deceit, and then also what was really interesting to me was like I was reading the thread and then I was looking at the comments, and a lot of people were like, "This is why cEDH is not a legit format because they, you have to fucking apologize for winning the game." And people were like, "You won, shut the fuck up." I think that it was kind of funny. Like I wasn't even going to talk about it because I was just kind of like, people don't understand. But then like I was even talking to my wife about it, and we got into a whole discussion. So I was like, "Oh, this will actually be like fun." So I messaged Chase and I was like, "We should talk about this." But I find it interesting because a lot of people come from it from this perspective again of like the 1v1 setting.
Yeah.
I can say in a 1v1 setting, I can say whatever the fuck I want to you. I mean, obviously like within the rules of the game, but like I can lie to you. It doesn't matter. You have to ultimately make your decisions with like what is most present at the table.
Yeah.
But in cEDH, it's different. Like I think that the reason that so many of these like good players are good, obviously skill, but like they are very skillful at politics. They are able to take the variance out of the game. Like if every game was just turn order simulator, like I am in seat 1, therefore I will probably be the first person to push win. I push win, and then it's up to player in seat 2 to stop me, and they cast a counter spell, and then I respond with my counter spell. Player 1, or seat 2 passes, seat 3 passes. Now player 4 with politics, I get to literally go, "Hey, I have a counter spell in my hand and I can stop this, but I don't want to just get got right after. So if I counter this, like, are you cool with letting me see another turn?" And then you automatically break the game of variance. You're like, "Oh, well, like I'm okay, cool. Like I'll let you have another turn. I'll let you have another turn. Okay, cool. Counter it." Without that, you just have to fucking counter it and then hope. And then it really does become turn order simulator. So I think that people like fail to realize that like it is still a skill. Like if you want to play 60 card, like play 60 card, that's fine. But I get so fucking annoyed when people try to turn this thing that is a different beast altogether into a different format. I don't know why, it drives me nuts. But that was a whole different discussion. But like I just think it's so silly when people do that. But essentially, like again, like what started the discussion was like lying versus deceit. It's like I'm curious from like your perspective, like where do you draw that line there? I guess like the lying versus deceiving people, and like how much lying is okay with like how much lying is okay in cEDH versus like is it a little bit? Is it none whatsoever? Is it all the lying? Fuck it, like just do what you want. Like where are you at on this?
Let me start by saying this. Like, there is nothing currently within the rule set that penalizes lying, misguiding, and deceiving people. So if I look at that from like an objectively like gameplay stance, there's literally nothing wrong with it, right? It's part of the game. It's part of human nature. It's something to expect when we're going to these tournaments. And unfortunately, especially like, with the start of this year, how tournaments have been going, I guess, and then a lot in the back half of last year, this was kind of a problem that was occurring like across the board. I feel like just people, choosing to utilize this as a tactic to win the game. And can you, not necessarily, I don't want to say like, can you fault them for doing that? But like, again, it's like I was saying, like from a very objective standpoint, it's not against the rules. Like it's not even just up to like one individual player. Like when you're faced with a situation like that, like you kind of have to go with your gut instinct and determine whether or not the person is lying or like looking at all the information given. But it's the table's role to really kind of provide those checks and balances for things. Like if someone lies in the game and you might have one player that is like, I don't really know about that. But then the other two are just like, fuck it, it'd be fine. Like, whatever. Then like you're gonna get got. Like if you're not fully aware of what's going on around you at any given point in the game, then like the person that lies is just gonna take advantage of it. You know, more oftentimes than not. I think that where, like, if we look at it then from a more subjective standpoint, that's where we've talked about before. Like, you know, yes, people have started adapting that as a strategy to win games, but it's not going to be a long-term thing. Those players that have either got caught, somehow reprimanded for it, you know, have had to go on and apologize for it, you know, whatever, like, reputation precedes people, and how you choose to play the game shapes your reputation. And I think that is going to be the biggest thing that keeps people in check. And I know that doesn't necessarily like answer your question of like, almost like what is this like difference between lying and like misguiding others, but I feel like that's kind of the place to start, is like you have to understand like that's what's going on here, is like literally there's nothing that you can do in games to stop lying and misguiding from happening, but the way that you handle it is by being informed and making sure you're aware of what's going on in the game. And then especially if you have like, if you're in a pod with people that utilize those strategies, like know that's a risk you run if you choose to trust that person. And that's how you keep things in check, is informing others, making people aware, and just like what I talked about last week, like feeling confident in your own decision making and trying to overcome it or work around like the misguidedness and the lying and so on, because it's not cheating.
Well, the thing that I find so fascinating about like just the whole discussion, and again, it's the best way that I can explain it is like it's not that it's against the rules, okay?
Right.
It is that it's almost like I don't know, like, have you ever been a part of something where they call it like almost like an unwritten rule? You know what I'm talking about? So like a good example of this, and I'm just, you know, like I do jiu-jitsu. So in certain places, like if you do like catch wrestling and like some of these other, like they're a lot more okay with like certain submissions and certain ways of like going about rolls. Like I remember like doing catch, and literally I would, you know, people would be like fucking just trying to pass your guard, or like you'd be in the middle of a roll and people would be using like fucking face cranks and like you know, neck cranks and like all this stuff. They'd be like sitting there smashing their forearm into your face, smashing their forearm into like your trach, like trach smashes, all this shit. And then I got into jiu-jitsu, and a lot of times like we're trying to protect our training partners.
Right.
So there's like this, it's not against the rules. And sometimes you'll even be like, fuck it, like, well, you know, you can do that in competition. It's totally fine.
Right.
But it's almost like an unwritten rule in the like in certain gyms, or like who you're rolling with, that it's like, hey, don't do this shit. Because like I've seen guys do that where like they're just like they want to fucking win at any cost, and they'll like sit there and they'll be like neck cranking guys, and like again, like it's fine, like competition, whatever, but in like a training setting, you don't really want to consistently be getting neck crank, because then you wake up the next day and you're like, my neck is fucked up and I want to go train, but I literally can't look sideways. Or again, like some dude's like just fucking trach smashing you, or he's like fucking putting the teeth, like your teeth, into the back of your mouth, and you're getting pissed off. And the next thing you know, like people just absolutely like target that dude, and they will like fuck him up. And so it's kind of the same way here. Like it's not that it is illegal. You are still allowed to do that stuff. But if you do it, more than likely people are going to make sure that you have a bad time.
Right.
Like we're not going to make deals for you, and then you are literally stuck again in that game of variance. It's like short term, you may win a tournament or you may win a couple games, but then long term, it's not going to lead to like long term success. If you are somebody that is not super well known, you may be able to get away with it for longer. As a well known person in the space, you're not going to get away with it. If me and you all of a sudden just like started going out there and we're like just actively lying to people in events, it would probably come out pretty quickly. There was like, this fucking Cascos guys are a bunch of lying dicks.
Yeah.
Like, don't trust them when you go to events.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, and then it would circulate very quickly. Now, if we were just like just a rando, and like I'm just going to events and I'm just like actively lying to people. It's like, oh, I really don't do this very often, but like I made that deal, but fuck you, like I'm gonna win the game anyway.
Right.
Your local people or like the people you play in that event with may be like, screw that guy. But then you're going to get away with it again and again and again and again. But eventually you will get got. Eventually people will find out that you're lying, and then you're not going to be able to make deals anymore. You're just going to get stuck in this turn order simulator game. And then congratulations, you have went from winning the game 40, 50, 30 something % of the time to like, congratulations, you're in like the 25%, because that's just what it's going to result down to. Like, you now have, there's 4 players. If everybody was just winning the equal amount of time, you're going to win like 25% of the time. And so congrats, you're going to win 25% of the time, which means you're going to actually convert maybe less than that.
Yeah.
Like, an event like, it's just not a good long-term strategy. But yeah.
I mean, I don't really have anything else to kind of add to that. I do think that with where things are now and people being so like heavily reliant on politics, like even kind of going to those points of like maybe if you're not as well known, or even for someone that is well known, that maybe they're really known for politicking, like I think that's where things like get really, really messy, right? Because
like whenever your friend says, I'm just going to go get a value engine with Arkham. And then they go get a fucking mind over man. No.
Talk about you, Sean. But no, like, it is kind of odd because we're almost getting to this point too. I feel like I've seen this. I feel like I've seen people talk about this, like in the idea of like where people are holding people to like the letter of the deal too. Like, and I think I remember us talking about this with Kellen, like circumstances do change in the game. Like, and it makes it kind of difficult now, even wrapped up in all of this with like the lying and whatnot. Like you have to, like, if you're someone that's like very careful with what you're doing in the game and you want to be honest, like really consider the words you're using. Like I know, like, for me, if someone's asking if I'm going to win or what I'm going to get, like even if I really don't know what I'm going to get, my go-to is like, I'm going to choose not to reveal that information. And then it kind of puts the other player in the spot. Or like, I know that for you, like in some of our gameplays we've had recently, like if someone is, if there's a stack war going on and then someone's just like, Blake, are you gonna win on your turn? And you're just like, well, with the cards that I have in my hand right now, like I can't do that. Like I can't do that, even though Blake is fucking sandbagging interaction and bullshit the whole time. He probably doesn't actually have the win in hand, and I think I could trust that.
What's funny, okay, I love you. I'm just interjecting here real quick. What's funny is I was playing, okay, so when we went to the Play to Win event, our buddy Jake, little Jake, Cake Jelly on Discord, shout out Jake, but when we went to that event, we swapped decks, and so he was letting me play Kennen, and I was letting him play Zer. And there was one game where we were playing against Nate from Play to Win, and so he was on Zer, I was on Dargo Timna, and then Jake's wife was on Malcolm Timna. Sorry, Malcolm Timna.
Yeah,
and then Nate was on Blue Farm, and Jake did something. He started something, and it started this whole stack battle. And I looked at his hand, and he had 20 cards in hand, and then Nate started saying like, like we can't let him untap. Like he clearly just wins the game. And I just like looked at him and I was like, I know that it looks like it, but I really don't think he does. Because I've played the deck so many times. I'm like, I really don't think he does. And I looked at Jake, and Jake was like, I really don't. Like I with 20 cards in hand, he was like,
right.
I really don't. And then the stack battle kept going, and then I watched him. He like drew a card, but he like kind of fumbled it a little weird. And then he drew the Thassa's, and then he looked at the table and he goes, now I can. But it took like 25 cards. It was so funny. I literally looked at him. I was like, I'm so glad you understand the pain that I go through.
Yeah, but I mean that even kind of goes back to that point though. Thank you for random story time. But like, like situations like that happen, and we're kind of getting to a point now where like almost everyone's still expecting one another to hold each other to the deal, even in those situations. And so like you have to be like super careful in how you try to word things or how you want to perceive yourself, because like that's a very quick situation where you can be seen as, oh, you're misguiding the table, or oh, you lied to win here, when the reality of it is you may have used your words to go, at this current moment in time, I do not have a win. And then you just happen to draw into it. Everyone's blown their interaction. Like, are you actually lying at that point? Probably not. But that's where I feel like this whole situation also kind of gets a little hectic, because people want to, kind of hold each other accountable in that way during these games, and you simply can't. And I think it goes back to that variance point. It goes back to how you want to actually handle yourself in these games, or how you want to conduct certain games and things like that. So this is a much bigger topic than honestly like one or two episodes could probably fit, but like it really is gonna kind of, we'd had to see how things play out the rest of the year too. You looked like you were about to say something though.
I was trying to remember. Okay, so I feel so bad because I can't remember his name to save my life. But so I was watching one of the, just to kind of talk about what you were saying, but like I was watching one of the Monolith practice videos, which again, shout out those guys, like, and then Jordan Drake, go watch Drake Academy, but and Lily Drake, sorry Lily, I'm sorry, I've now that I've played Jordan, I see what you put up with, but no, I'm just, but I'm just kidding. But I was watching one of their practice videos, and Hayward Charles, he was on Route in that, and he's a really good Route player, and he was playing, I think it was Corwin. I can't remember. Don't hold me to that, but I think it was Corwin. But they ended up in a situation where he was going to essentially die if a specific spell was not cast.
Yeah.
And the only way that they could get Hayward to agree to cast the spell was because it didn't have to be on that turn. It needed to be the next turn cycle. And it was this really weird situation. But again, it was like an Echo of Eons, and it was a whole ordeal. They were going to end up decking themselves. It was crazy. But they needed that card cast. There was a very specific deal made where they said, I will protect you if you cast the Echo next turn. And Hayward specifically said, if I get a next turn, I will cast the Echo of Eons. And that was the deal that was made. But I think that the player that said that I will protect you, I think that they meant like they were talking about like this next spell they were going to protect. But the way that Hayward took that was, you will protect me on this turn. So then Hayward starts to go for a win, and somebody like goes to potentially counter the win, and then Hayward's like, you said you were going to protect me this turn. And then it created this whole thing where they were like, well, no, I meant like this one spell. And then they got into this whole discussion of like, well, what was the deal that was made here, and how do we go about that?
Right.
And then after the fact, they all broke down like, okay, what should we have done there in that instance? Because someone said, well, I don't think either player actually understood the deal, so no deal was ever made. And then another player was like, well, no, I feel like if they interpreted the deal in that way, their version of upholding the end of the deal is obviously casting the Echo if they get another turn. So therefore, like, they still are technically going to uphold their end of the deal. So then therefore, like, if that is how you interpreted it, I will uphold that end of the deal. And then it was just like, it was a very interesting like conversation. I thought that was very fascinating. I think that some people, what they choose to do is they will make a deal with somebody, and then information may change, something may happen, and then it's like, if for instance I tell somebody like, okay, if you remove X, I will not, we'll say I won't cast XYZ spell this turn, and then they go, okay, great. Player A upholds their end of the deal, and they remove X. Well, then all of a sudden, somebody else does some stuff. It really changes the board state. and then now I have this opportunity where like I feel like it would make the most sense for me to cast X. Are you wrong for casting X in that moment, like that spell in that moment? Because technically information did change, but the deal you made with that player was still upheld. Like they did their part. So are you breaking the deal now? Like you said, I will not, like, how do you navigate that? Do you look at them and go, hey, like, listen, I know we made this deal. I ultimately, like, the deal was if you did X, I won't do X. How do you navigate? How would you go about navigating that situation? Because I feel like for me, like if I told player A, like, or if I told player, like, I will not do X if you do this, and then they do their thing, and then information changes, and then now I'm having to like represent okay, listen, like, I will still not play this spell because you upheld your end of the deal unless you are now okay with me doing that. And then if they say no, then I feel like me as a player, I have to be like, okay, cool. Like this was the deal that was made. I will honor that deal. I'm not going to do it because I feel like if I do, even though information's changed, I'm probably like, I feel like a liar in that moment. I'm not saying I am, but I would feel like once I'd probably be like, okay, I will uphold that deal. I will not do that. Or even some people, like, I was playing one game where I told somebody I won't use the Wish Claw Talisman. They give it to me and I didn't. Like, I won't use this Wish Claw Talisman to tutor. And then later I swung with Zur. I put a copy artifact into play, cloning the and I went and like tutored.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, what the fuck? You said you weren't going to use that Wish Claw Talisman. And then there was a discussion where the other player was like, well, no, like, he literally went through the effort to like, he could have just used that one. It was untapped. He could have used it, but he literally went through the effort to use a swing, to get a copy, to then go get a Wish Claw, to then be able to use, like, the deal was still upheld.
Right.
And it's like, plus it didn't even have to be on his board. It could be on anybody's board. He could still do that. So like the deal was still upheld. But then the other player was like, oh, okay. And then like we had a discussion. But like, again, in that instance, like player says, I won't do X if you do, or I will do X if you do whatever. And then they do it, information changes. And now you're like, oh, it doesn't make sense to do X, or it does make sense. Like, do you feel like that's lying in that instance if you...
I
do you go about it?
I think that the way you go about something like that is if they are wholeheartedly like, hey, we made this deal, like, you have to abide by it. Like, obviously, I'm gonna go back to my comment from earlier. Like, technically speaking, as a player, you don't have to. Like, there's not, outside of unwritten, unspoken things, like you don't have to. I'll appeal to that side for a second. Like, there's nothing that's saying that you have to. But I think that in a situation like that, either more information is given, board state changes. Now we like maybe the dynamic of the game has shifted pretty drastically, and now you need to commit to more plays or commit to a certain play in order for it being like you being able to like survive. Essentially, I think that you have to be able to like be open to sharing that perspective and going like, hey, this is what I see, and this is where I see the situation is going now that this has occurred. I need to know where you're at on this, because I know that we made this deal, but you also know that I might have the answer to this current situation that has now been presented to us if I cast this. Is that going to be something that you feel like goes against you? Or what are your thoughts on something we can do differently instead? You might have to just straight up make a new deal on it with that person that you had initially made it with. Because, I mean, you can't necessarily make a deal with the person that just changed the entire state of the game. Because ultimately, at the end of the game, like, the goal is to win. But until you win, the goal is to survive. And so you kind of have to do that all together. And if, if one person isn't going to be on board with that, you have to make the deals with the people that will. And so I think that that's what you have to kind of do is like, you have to be able to provide enough insight in where you feel like the direction of the game is going, provide your stance on things. Kind of, you were able to kind of gather the thoughts and feelings of the people that, you either made that deal with or the rest of the table in those kind of scenarios, and then kind of have to make some form of a new deal, I think, because of the presented situation. And so I think whenever you do that, you're not necessarily like misguiding, but you have an opportunity for a few things. You still have an opportunity to advance yourself in a way with probably what you were initially wanting to do, and that can be a little bit misguiding there. But at the same time, if the rest, not just you, but if the rest of the table sees it as something that is beneficial to seeing more turns, then that's just what it is, and you work out those new deals with those people. I think that's how you probably go about it, because the situations like that you could very well just be like, hey, like, you know, I'm gonna go for it here. I've been put in situations where I did make a deal and tried to use my words in a way whereas like I will not do this unless these things happened. These things happened, and so I had to just fucking jam at that point in time. And like, yeah, it made me feel like a dick afterwards, but at the same time, like, person I was making the deal with was willing to listen. They had kind of like convinced the rest of the table that I wouldn't say they convinced them that I was a threat or anything like that, but like, they were even saying like, hey, if you all do this to him, it forces him to break our deal and he is just going to win here. Like, do not do this. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, I felt bad. Like it was kind of a shitty situation, but at the same time, like I felt as though I worded my stuff in a way where I was just like, I will not do this unless these things happen. And I think at that point, like, when you are able to communicate that, like even that portion of things pretty clearly, it makes it hard for people to truly like hold you to that, to the letter of the deal, if that makes sense.
Well, what I think what's very fascinating, and Jake made a good comment about this, but like, or I think it was Jake that we were talking about that, but I think it was Jake. Don't hold me to this, but we were getting.
I'm holding you to it.
We were getting into this discussion of like letter of the deal versus like nature of the deal and all this stuff, and then I just because we got into this whole discussion about that, and then I specifically asked Zach Adler about that, and I was like, hey, what is your opinion on like nature of the deal versus letter of the deal, all this stuff, whenever he had like swindled me multiple games and fucking beat my ass. But he's so good at politics with Zach, but whatever. But he's very good. But when I say swindled, he didn't lie to her or nothing like that. He's just really fucking good. But I asked him, I was like, what's your opinion on the nature of the deal versus the letter of the deal? And he made a comment where he said that he almost likes to have people reiterate the deal back just to make sure that they understand exactly what the deal was. And not to cut you off here, because like now, like it got me thinking, like, how do you feel about those deals, I guess, where like somebody basically just says like, hey, like I tell you, I go, hey Chase, I'm on Kennen and you have the opportunity to counter my spell, and you're like, I won't counter this right now if you will make the agreement not to win this turn. And then I go, okay, like if you will agree not to counter the spell, I'm not going to win this turn. And then I say, okay, I'm not going to win this turn. Like I told you, like we made this deal, I'm not going to win this turn. And then all of a sudden, here comes a fucking Hullbreaker Horror, and I'm bouncing a bunch of shit, and it doesn't even matter if you cast the spell, because then I'm bouncing. Like all of a sudden,
you've essentially already won.
I'm comboing off. I've drawn most of my deck with a Thrass. I've bounced all y'all's permanents or whatever. But then I passed the turn because I haven't won this turn. I stuck to the deal. How do you know what I mean? Like, do you think that that's bullshit in that instance? Like, is that deal like did they actually uphold their like? I mean, it's the same
situation as like, oh, I'm not gonna win this turn. Slam Grand Abolisher, cast Final Fortune. Like, that's the exact same thing. Like, you motherfucker, you do what you do in that. Yeah. But like
angle, what do they call it? Like the angle shooting,
things like that. Someone goes, it gets a mind over matter. But anyway,
I'm talking to you, Sean. No. Just kidding, Sean. We're not talking about Sean.
We're no longer going to have a code triple C.
What was it? What? Yeah, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Go to Manimal Proxies and buy a mind over matter right now. What was it Max said? Anytime we talk about him, we just have to be like Biggie, be like, notorious. Like, really?
Oh man, we know this is when you know that we love you. When we just give you shit like this. But man, no. Yeah, no, like you know what you're doing in those situations for sure. Like, but I think that what that made me think of is like, it's not so much, you can't be that broad because that opens up the opportunity to be misguided and be lied to. So if you're making a deal on those situations where like, hey, I can stop you right here, convince me why I shouldn't. You kind of have to make a deal in a way that is, I don't want to say specific because again, like the point we just made on like circumstances change, but I think that, if say in that instance, okay, if I allow your Kennen to resolve, like you could do anything that's like realistically within this time, but you can't go for Hullbreaker, Fairy Mastermind, or finale stuff. Like there goes the wins, and there goes the bounce. Like you could take out the bouncing and permanents, but that player can still like advance their board state. They can still put things down. They can still actively participate in the game without having to fear like, oh, if I do anything here, like they're gonna think I'm a fucking dirty lying bitch. And so,
but that's the thing too. Is again, like I'm gonna go back to that example of like the 60 card players, which again, like I think that's one thing that drives me nuts is like they try to turn this format into 60 card. It's like just play like skill based Magic. Like fuck off. It's not the same thing. It's a different format. There are different skills required. If you don't want to learn those skills, that's fine, but you're not gonna be successful long term. Like it's okay, but yeah, like I just think that being able to make deals gives people agency in the game. Like it gives you the opportunity to still get to do shit with your spells whenever, like if a Winota is getting ready to swing, probably the objective response there is to just fucking cast my Swords to Plowshare and kill the Winota.
Right.
But why, like I made a deal in a tournament recently where like there was a Winota player that was getting ready to swing and I just showed him the swords and I was like, listen, like I can cast this and I will kill your creature. Can we make some sort of a deal here? Because there's another thing that is very easily going to get out of hand. I probably need to remove it instead. It is a problem for both of us. Can we make a deal here? And the player literally was like, okay, well, I don't want to completely like get bullied in this situation into just like doing nothing. So like, let's talk. And then we had a conversation. And the conversation ultimately we came to a deal where it was like, I'm going to end up getting 2 flips off of this Winota. The agreement was if I whiff, like you can pick what I put into play, or you could even say don't put anything into play off of the first flip. If I completely whiff on the first flip, you will get to do that same thing, but for my second flip. But after you have picked one, I get to decide what I put into play on the second one. And I was like, okay, that's fair. I'm totally cool with that. We can make that deal. And then now this person has some agency in the game. I get to keep my spell and potentially use it on the other thing that's threatening or the thing that comes down that may be threatening, whatever. And sure enough, like flip happens. There's an Atali at the table. That's the thing I'm fucking worried about. They got a fucking treasonous ogre that could come down. I'm like, whatever. But, like all these things that could happen. And so then the person flips a Dranith. And I'm like, Dranith. They had another thing that would have benefited them way more. But I was like, Dranith. And they were like, okay. And they put Dranith into play. I was like, cool. Whatever happens on the second flip, that is completely up to you. And I think they flipped into like Archon. And I was like, totally fine. Like, yeah, whatever. But like, again, it's a way for you to buy agency. But it would be really shitty if they said, yeah, you can decide on the first flip. And I go, Dranith. And they're like, nah, fuck you. This other thing benefits me more.
Right.
Sorry. It's like, well, no, let's reel this shit back because Winota's fucking dying then. Like, fuck off, Right. So that, yeah, it's just stuff like that. But I don't know. It's sad that we have to have people be so specific when they make deals, but in reality, like, I guess I get it too because like people want to get every piece of like incremental advantage they can. I don't know.
Sometimes. Then you have people like me where I'm just like, I'm gonna force you to commit to casting things and put it on stack.
Just talk to me, Chase, please. I want to play games with you, but I want to have conversations with you.
You want to have conversations with everybody.
I love people. I love talking to people.
Oh my goodness.
I just want to be like, hey, Chase, listen, like I can show you this counterspell. Please don't. I will let you do it later. I promise. And then Chase is like, nah, motherfucker.
You'll if you watched our gameplay from like, or actually no, I think that's coming out this week.
The Atali one.
Yeah. The people will find out what we're talking about there. Spoiler alert. But but yeah, no, like I don't know. I think that where we're at politicking wise and the lying and the misguiding and things like that, like people are almost like on edge about it right now. I feel like you have to like, and that's why I think I'm really focused on those points as opposed to like what is lying, what is, you know, what kind of the difference between the two are. But like, you know, you have to be careful in what you're saying because not all, like all the points that we've made, like people interpret it different ways. People do not have your best interest in mind and they will not follow it. Circumstances change. You know, not just like in the game, but your circumstance as far as in the game itself, it can change. So you have to be very articulate with what you are trying to say or do. And if you don't feel confident in being able to like construct your sentences or whatever it is, however you want to approach it, like if you don't feel confident in doing that, then you are somewhat missing out on a portion of the game. And that is kind of an unfortunate thing. But then going back to the lying aspect of things, like just don't fucking do it. Like, you know, again, you can do it, but just don't fucking do it because it has the potential to discredit you and really keep you from enjoying this format because people will know. Now, I will say this, okay? Hear me out on this. I would rather have a situation happen like what did at the Rumble. I'd rather have that happen to me than the situation that happened last year whenever we first went down to Tennessee. And there is a tournament grinder that I played against that the strategy was, ooh, don't fucking target my stuff. I'm not a problem. And then like the table asked if they were going to win on their turn. And they're like, no, I can't do anything. I don't have anything. Proceeded to win. Like, don't be a baby back bitch. Okay, just don't. Like, don't do that.
Just don't play Parlay Savala.
Don't play Parlay Savala. And
don't go to Pool Priority and look up Parlay Savala. No.
Fair enough. And I like that left such a bad taste in the players at that table that we all walked away. We're just like, fuck this person. And I like refused to even say their name on the channel. Even though now that I think they're a Kefka player. But anyway.
Chase, the whole ride back, we stopped to get food and Chase got drunk in the whole you just hear, all right. That bitch. just a drunk rant.
Right.
That's such a good episode. Go watch that. Go watch that.
That was a fun audio only one. That was a good night. But anyway, I do think that, like, if you're going to lie, don't use that as a strategy. There's been a lot of people that have done that here recently, too, of like, I'm not a problem. Don't target me. Or I'm only going to do this one thing. I promise, guys. And then, like, just, like, no. If you're going to just straight up lie about it, I'd rather you just, like, not act that way, if that makes sense.
I have had this happen before, and this pissed me off. I don't know why, I just thought about it. But I had somebody one time where they were telling me that the cards in their hand, like with the cards they had, they couldn't win the game. And then they drew a card off the top of their deck, kind of card flick their hand, and then immediately they show me the card that gets them the win. They're like, I drew it for turn. I'm like, bitch, if you drew that, you would have drawn it and showed it to me immediately. But you flicked that. Fuck you. You're lying. You're fucking lying.
Why you fucking lie?
What is it, Trevor? Someone kill me. No.
But like, I will take straight up lying and being misguided over like just whining. Oh, I don't have to win, guys. I can't do anything. I'm out of this game. Fucking got you. Like that's such a cheap fucking way to win the game. I'm like, okay, so like the lying portion of things is bad, right? That's bad enough. But this portion of things, like, it's cringy first and foremost. That makes me not take the format seriously if people are doing that. And then, you know, unfortunately, it's become a strategy. Maybe I'd win more games if I was really, please don't fucking target my sissy. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Just, if you got to remove it. If you got something, just fucking, I don't care.
I will say you are really notorious for that shit. Notorious. No, but you are really notorious for that. Where you're like, you'll just basically tell people like, if you got it, you got it. Fuck it. Like I'll say, the way I know that I don't have you where I want you is whenever I show you a card and you're like, fucking cast it, and I'm like, he's got removal. Fuck. Like one time I showed Chase an opposition agent and he goes, cast it. And I was like, he's got Auto Aura, fuck. And then I was sitting there thinking, I was like, what gets me out of this situation? The answer was Amphibian Downpour. And he asked me afterwards, he goes, how close were you to casting that Oppo? And I was like, really close until you said do it. If Chase would have looked at me and be like, please, I'm not going to win. Don't cast the Oppo. I probably wouldn't have cast it. I probably, in that moment, I probably would have been like, fuck it. Or I probably would have cast it, not wouldn't have. I would have been like, fuck it, Oppo. And then he'd be like, gotcha, bitch. I don't want And then there I am with no mana.
Oh. Oh, my God. But yeah, I don't know. Like I do think it's unfortunate that it has kind of gotten to this point where like it does hurt the game to an extent. It hurts people. It hurts it, and it hurts at not just like the gameplay level or at that one tournament, or any tournament where it happens. Like, you kind of take your own joy out of what you can experience in this game when you start turning towards the lying and, you know, constantly angle shooting or constantly like holding people to, you know, the exact deal. Like, when you start getting that reputation for things, whether that be at a very big scene, like tournament grinder scene, big 20K, 50, 100, whatever the fuck K event is going on, or it's just your locals, like, people will catch on. It's not something that, and obviously with what happened, you know, at the beginning of this, I said I wasn't going to name names. Blake already did it for us very early on, so fuck that plan. But, you know, he's gone on and he has apologized for it, and I really hope that, like, they can work towards, like, mending the friendship in that relationship there. I don't know. Because ultimately, like, this life is too short, and this is still just a game. And I know people are going to be like, oh, this is a game we spend a lot of money on and like travel and things like that. Yeah, we do it because we enjoy things. And that's a reason why, like, you shouldn't give into lying as a strategy, because people are going to find out and it's going to cut off your access from being able to enjoy the thing that we love. So that's just kind of where I'm at, I think, on it. And here I am, I'm going to, like, more into, like, this heartfelt thing, and Blake's like, ooh, fucking laughing at me over there.
I'm not laughing at you. I have such a good time with myself over here. I fucking love it. I was gonna say if anybody's lying, it's Logan and Jason, because there's no way you have two Asian guys with the last name Doan on the same CDH team, and you're not related.
What?
I love you both, and you know I love you both. But
you really let the Kentucky get out on that one, didn't
they're
you?
angle shooting. I'm telling you. I don't give a fuck. That was literally you were giving this heartfelt moment, and that was the first thing that crossed my mind. I was like, these motherfuckers are full of it.
And this is why we can't come up with anything on a weekly basis. This is why the channel's falling apart in shambles.
I do love you guys. That being said, don't lie in CEDH.
Just don't do it. Yeah, and that's all it is. Like, you know, people that are playing at that level, they already have the skill to navigate these things, and especially like when you're in the public, like, view, and like your opinions are out there, and if you coach, you put out content, you consistently perform well at tournaments, even if you don't do any of those things and people recognize you, like, at the end of the day, it's about trying to enjoy the game, whether that's for yourself, for others, you know, the friendships you build, whatever may come out of it. But again, like, if you choose to go into those strategies, you are severely limiting your ability to enjoy the game in those ways.
No, I agree. Like I said, at the end of the day, it is a tactic. It is just not a good long-term tactic.
Right.
I think that if you want to, like, people talk about like the deceit thing. Of course, I don't have to show you what is in hidden zones. I don't have to tell you, do I have a win? Do I not? Like, okay, deflecting, all that stuff. But there is a difference between like deception and then just blatant, like, I'm going to tell you one thing when this other thing is totally true. Like,
Yeah.
like this is completely false. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. But at the end of the day, I do enjoy this format. I'm having a great fucking time over here.
I can tell.
Yeah, I love Logan and Jason. They know I love them, but it's so funny. I love the critical guys. They're such great people. But fun. But yeah, just don't lie. That's not targeted at anybody. That's just targeted at everybody, including myself. Don't lie.
So I know we kind of dove more into like the making deals and things like that, but you know, I think there is a lot to kind of take away from that, even within the aspect of like being misguided and lied to and things like that. And ultimately, like, again, board presence and aware of what's going on in the game, being able to articulate exactly like what's on your mind and what you're trying to get out of things as far as your own deals or progress the board state. You know, don't fall for things. You know, if it seems something that's like super blatant and you feel as though like, hey, either A, this is a really bad deal, or B, like, hey, these are the conditions that are going on here, I don't feel like this person's being like truthful and honest. Like, trust yourself in those scenarios, or so, because that's how you build up the confidence. That's how you learn from the next time you encounter an experience like that, like whether or not it's going to be something that becomes beneficial to you or becomes something that just really fucks you in the end. So like, one way or another, take it as a learning opportunity and just grow from it. And so I think that that's how you kind of get out of those pitfalls in a way, you know. And I may have missed like a couple things, but those are the things that I feel like it ultimately like comes down to. Like, trust yourself, be confident in it, be able to articulate your point of view and what you see your perspectives are, and just having a level of awareness that you're not going to fall into those traps.
Yeah. No, I think that's actually really good and just a good way to sum it up. I think that, yeah. I think ultimately, like truly deep down, people know when they're doing right and wrong in this game anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know. But for the most part, this is a social game. So just don't, like, the gathering is in the name of the game. So don't hinder your ability to participate in the gathering by your actions in the game. That ultimately is what it comes down to. But yeah, I had a good time. I think this is a fun conversation.
You're still thinking about your joke you just made.
No. Now I'm thinking about different stuff.
I'm afraid to even know what you're thinking about at this point.
I was thinking about that game. I'm thinking about all sorts of stuff, dude.
Wait, which game?
Not the Jason game. The Notorious and the Jordan game. I was just thinking about.
Oh, okay.
I'm just thinking about stuff. If you haven't watched that, Chase edited that thing very well. You should go watch it. Chase edits all of our gameplay very well. So go watch any of the games that are on the channel. And if you like any of the decks you see, go to Man of All Proxies.
Not any of the games. Watch the ones from like the past like few months at least, because those are significantly better. As far as the editing and shit goes, I leave in more stuff. I made a comment that one day because we've gotten some comments on like, this is what's wrong with cEDH, too much politicking. We got a comment one day of like, can you all please cut out like the like. Or what was it? Can you leave it to like game actions only?
Can you guys please stop talking unless you're taking game actions? Thanks.
Like, politicking is a game action.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the way I see it.
Absolutely.
So I keep as much of that shit in as I can. Now, granted, it fucking sucks sitting there for days going through like 3 hours of film to find all the good spots and cut out all the dead shit. It's worth it at the end. But yeah, if you haven't watched that gameplay, go watch that. I know that this past weekend was a good one too. That's where we had Craig and AJ on, so that was that's some interesting games.
Fuck me,
oh
dude.
man, Flubs and Yuriko.
I had somebody reach out to me today about Yuriko. Fuck that deck. But our decks are very different, so I'm hopeful. We're 48 cards different. So I'm thinking
He's gonna give it a shot again.
Oh man, this might be the one. Or I'll play it and I'll go, this fucking deck also sucked. No, just
He'll probably say this deck fucking sucks
deck
still.
sucks, yeah. You could, I don't even know, dude. I think I could just replace Zur with Yuriko in my same Esper Shell, and I would still be like, this deck fucking sucks. And it's the exact same deck, just different commander. But because I got to stare at the ninja.
Well, you got anything else for us?
Just have fun. Play the game. And also, like, if you made it this far in the video, let us know in the comments below if you think Jason and Logan are lying.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But let us know. Let us know what events you're really excited to like get to this year, because like we're really pumped up. Really, we've actually got a couple of events planned, and I'm really excited to like go to some of these events. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so I know we're going to the Tabernacle event, which is gonna be really fun.
I know that the 21st of this month, I don't know about you, I plan on going to the event in Guthrie, Kentucky for the Infinity Game Lounge that's there as one of the few proxy-friendly stores in the state of Kentucky. It's like right at the border of like Kentucky and Tennessee.
That'd be cool.
So I plan on going to it. So that'd be February 21st.
I'm very excited. We got some cool shit working in the background. It's like, this is the thing. We are like we are the everyman CDH player. There are people that are really fucking good at this game. We are just kind of the, like, you know, when people say you're leaving so much money on the table. Yeah, we're that CDH group. When people will ask us to do shit, and we're just like, maybe. So that's us.
We got no money on the table.
No. Well, there's Man of All Proxies over here.
Oh, that's... What's the code again?
I don't fucking it.
I don't know.
If it looks backwards to me, it's right.
In editing, you can go through and flip it just to make it look correct.
Like the fucking, you're the Simpsons with Bart. He's like,
yeah.
Oh,
So,
but
but
I tried to keep it together. I didn't. It's been an eventful day.
Yeah.
But it's been a fun day.
I know Blake wants you all to post down below, like, what events you're excited for this year or what you plan on going to. Here's what I want to know. I want to hear your stories of being lied and misguided in cEDH. Give us the best shit so we could have a good laugh. Because we do look at everything. We don't respond to everything because some people have been negative as fuck recently, but we will laugh at it. Even the negative stuff, we will laugh at it.
I may respond to some of these because I think they're
Blake will respond to them.
I think they'll be funny.
Yeah. So I want to know, what are like your cEDH like horror stories with like lying and being misguided and like being fucked out of deals and shit like that? Because we all have one. So with that being said, you already brought up the proxies. Just as a reminder, go check out Man of Vault Proxies, and at checkout, use code CCC for 5% off your order. And he's handed me the box, probably because he doesn't want to get them back out, and he's making me do this. But yeah, go look at that. Look at that right there.
That's a shit card. That's a terrible card.
What?
That's starting town.
Did you see what it is?
That's a shitty
My
card.
God, how did he do?
That's trash.
That was instinctual. He just fucking knew that like right away. He's just like, ugh, I feel it.
Go get a proxy deck without that card in it.
But yeah, use code CCC at checkout for 5% off your order there. Also, like I said in the beginning, if you've made it this far, if you've liked what we talk about, if you're commenting down below, if you're liking the video, even if you're fucking disliking the video, go ahead and subscribe. We're almost at 2,000. Like, we're only like a couple hundred away, maybe a little bit less than that at this point. At the time of recording, we're like 18, 13, something like that. But go on ahead and subscribe down below if you haven't done that yet already. Like the video, like I just said. Also, and I mentioned this earlier, we might post a second time this week because of the announcement, because this is coming out on the day of the announcement. So be looking forward to us again kind of later on in the week, and always like check out our gameplays on Saturdays and things like that. You looked like you were about to say something and interrupt me.
No, I wasn't. I was sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, come on, no changes.
Come on.
No wristing band.
I said this in the goals episode as far as like predictions for the year. I do think they will do the hybrid mana. Yeah, I'm kind of anticipating that one, but we will see. We'll talk about it later in the week.
I think we talked about it in the goals episode. I actually do think that Ristic Steady gets banned. I fucking hope it does not. But I actually think it does.
I'd like to see it get banned, honestly, just so that way you're like, I can't run Xur anymore.
I would still run Xur. I will run that.
Really? It'd be like full. It'd be like a full Sid Necro, probably.
Dude, I will totally trust me. I've said every card in the 99 could get banned in that deck, and I will find a way to make it playable.
My God, he's a madman.
I'll put Yuriko in the 99.
Yep.
I won't do that. I will not do that.
He might.
I will not do that.
He might.
That could be the only two cards.
You might have to
format, and I will not do that.
So anyway, like, comment down below, join our Discords, subscribe, join our Patreon. Don't fucking lie and misguide people in cEDH. And as always,
go play some cEDH.
but don't be a fuck.